Kofi Annan's 7 ultimate life lessons for every young person. You don't have to listen to Kofi Annan for long to realize that he understands the challenges, responsibilities and opportunities of leadership at a very deep level. Kofi Annan was a Ghanaian diplomat who served as the 7th Secretary General of the United Nations from January 1997 to December 2006. He and the UN were the co-recipients of the Nobel Peace Prize in 2001. His humanitarian passion later led him to start up the Kofi Annan Foundation. After he retired from his position from the UN, he was also chairman of the Elders, an international organization founded by Nelson Mandela. This exceptional African leader was able to contribute effectively to the development of the Millennium Development Goals, which have served as a foundation for the current Sustainable Development Goals. In today's video, we'll bring you lessons from the life and experience of Kofi Annan for young people. We may not stand on a world stage as he did, but we can bring the essence of his leadership to life. Before we get to it, we'd love to appreciate every one of you for your support and engagement. Please keep the comments, questions and feedbacks coming. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to After School Africa channel for more inspiring and educative videos like this. With that said, let's get to the lessons. Number 1. Be responsive to change. Born in 1938, Annan came of age in the late 1950s, just as his homeland, formerly known as the Gold Coast, was gaining independence from Britain as the new state of Ghana. It was, he says, a time when suddenly you realized that change is possible. It was also the first time that ethnic Ghanaians began to take over the formal leadership role in his country, hence a particularly important time for a generation of young people to attain the education that would help ensure that change would be synonymous with progress. You can tell that Annan took advantage of the opportunity at the time and made a good career of it. There is a lot of changes going on in the technology space today. Kai-Fu Lee, an artificial intelligence expert and venture capitalist, believes that 40% of jobs will be replaced by AI within the next 15 years. Jeff Bezos, the world's richest man today, believes that machine learning and artificial intelligence will change everything from business, jobs to government organizations. There are 2 things you can do about this: complain about how this is unfair or get prepared to adapt to the changing times. Only those who are flexible enough to adapt will remain relevant. Number 2. Leadership arises not from the position you are in, but from the actions you take. Everyone at every level and in every organization can show leadership by proactively identifying problems and finding solutions. Identifying problems takes a degree of vision and courage, and in the roles Annan filled, it took compassion and a conviction that suffering anywhere concerns people everywhere. This school of thought inspired him to take a challenge that delivered one of the greatest successes: the battle against HIV and AIDS in the developing world. Kofi Annan believed that every single person can be called a leader, and individuals have the ability to lead in their own way. In his words, when people in power fail to lead, the followers should lead and make the leaders follow. Leadership is about taking responsibility to solve problems, whether it directly affects you or not. If you are a problem solver, you are a leader. Number 3. If you are a dreamer, know when you are awake and when you are sleeping. In 2001, Annan called for the creation of an international global war chest of $5 billion to fight HIV and AIDS. Commenting of this much later, he says, "Everybody thought that I was dreaming. I said, that's fine, I will keep dreaming." He successfully raised many times that amount in a battle that transformed the lives of millions of people with HIV and AIDS. On the way to that success, Annan demonstrated an essential element of leadership. Having the vision to identify a problem, you then need the ability, the commitment, and the drive to find creative solutions to implement them. To make your dream a reality, you have to move from the point of idea to execution. The ideation stage is when you are sleeping. The execution is when you are awake. Number 4. Know what you can do. Find who can do what you can't do. One of the key questions I asked when I took over was, what can the UN do? What can the UN not do? And what should the UN leave to others to do? And that led to the partnership that I saw with business. At the time, there were those who argued that the international diplomatic community should not be allowing their affairs to become tangled with commercial interests. But Annan recognized the opportunities that could arise from this partnership. What is important, he says, is that business has the resources, skills, and in some cases, energy that the UN could not muster. Speaking about him, a former intern at the UN has this to say. He understood both how influential he was to the organization and how limited his relative powers. Vis-a-vis the UN Security Council was, you will achieve greater results in life if you come to full knowledge of your strengths and weaknesses, and then look for people to complement your shortcomings. Number 5. Successful leaders are good listeners. Kofi Annan was described by his contemporaries as a leader who had empathy and the ability to listen thoroughly to the struggles of his followers. Annan believes that good leaders always have time or make time to listen to others, even when the others in question may not be on their advisory board or among your usual friends and allies. You learn more when you are listening than when you are talking. Number 6. Successful leaders trust others to bring solutions. When Annan took over the position of UN Secretary General from Boutros Ghali, he committed to giving the UN a human face and true meaning. He challenged everyone to become international civil servants and ambassadors for the organization. Good leaders trust others to bring solutions. If you try to craft every solution yourself, you can get strapped trying to fix every problem the same way, or you may just miss some wonderful opportunities. Number 7. Successful leaders make space for others to succeed. Kofi Annan once remarked that sometimes activities might be slowed down because of the people you have to involve to make a favorable decision. For him, the most important thing is that the more people you can involve in coming up with solutions and the bigger coalitions you can build for change, the greater the chances of success. Good leaders make space for others to succeed, to bring their skills to bear in solving problems or creating new opportunities. As a result, everyone achieves greater results than they would have if working independently. Kofi Annan is regarded as one of the greatest leaders of our time, a time when real leaders are desperately needed and in short supply. Here is a parting word from Annan. Knowledge is power, information is liberating. Education is the premise of progress in every society, in every family. Make the most of the knowledge and information you have gained from these lessons. What's one lesson you are taking away? Let's hear you in the comment section. If you found this inspiring, give it a thumbs up and share. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, this is likely a good time to subscribe. Until next time, your success matters.